Welcome, brave seekers of history, to a majestic journey back where glorious empires were forged. Can a single piece of baked clay, no larger than a human hand, change the course of human rights forever? In 539 BC, a vast Persian army approached the grand, towering gates of Babylon. Instead of rivers of blood and fire, the massive city gates were opened wide in peaceful surrender. What made a ruthless ancient conqueror choose mercy over wrath? Let us uncover the truth today. Beneath the blazing sun, the Neo-Babylonian Empire stood as a proud golden jewel. Its towering ziggurats and massive fortified walls cast dark shadows across the barren landscape. But past the breathtaking glazed blue bricks of the Ishtar Gate, a tragic story unfolded daily. According to ancient records, countless captive nations wept bitterly by the Euphrates River. The Jewish people, exiled from their beloved homeland, endured decades of harsh, grueling servitude. King Nabonidus ruled with an iron fist, ignoring the cries of the broken, enslaved masses. The priests of Marduk, Babylon's patron god, grew deeply alienated from their arrogant king. Heavy taxes and religious suppression fueled a quiet anger within the city's grand walls. Elders prayed fervently for a deliverer to break their heavy chains of endless sorrow. Yet the majestic city felt invincible, protected by the mighty flow of the deep river. No invading force had ever breached these colossal defenses, standing tall through generations. While the captives mourned, a storm was gathering in the distant eastern mountains of the Persian realm. Cyrus the Great rapidly united the Medes and Persians, forming a terrifying force. His vast, disciplined empire expanded across the rugged highlands, swallowing kingdoms one by one. However, his brilliant strategy relied not on brutal force, but on profound political wisdom. He built a powerful reputation as a noble liberator, not a cruel conqueror.
An empire that will endure for 1,000 years.
The oppressed citizens of Babylon heard hushed rumors of his rapidly approaching army. Whispers of freedom spread like wildfire through the dusty slave camps outside the royal palaces. Could this foreign Persian king truly be the chosen savior, promised in their sacred, ancient prophecies? The stage was perfectly set for a dramatic clash that would forever alter human destiny. In late autumn of 539 BC, Cyrus and his immortal guards reached the city walls. The Babylonians felt utterly secure behind their massive, impregnable city defenses. The mighty Euphrates River flowed directly through the city, providing endless water. A siege could theoretically last for decades, starving the Persian army in the harsh desert. But Cyrus possessed an incredibly brilliant mind, refusing to sacrifice his brave men. Instead of attacking the impenetrable walls, his engineers executed a breathtaking feat. Under the cover of darkness, they secretly dug massive canals to divert the raging waters. Slowly, the deep water level dropped, exposing the muddy riverbed beneath the heavy gates. In the dead of night, elite Persian soldiers marched beneath the towering fortifications. The Babylonians were distracted by a grand, intoxicating religious festival. When the Persian army suddenly emerged from the riverbed, the city's corrupt leadership collapsed. But here is the most shocking twist in ancient military history, defying all expectations. If you had absolute power over your enemies, Would you destroy them, or let them live in peace? Rather than burning the glorious city to the ground, Cyrus ordered his troops to spare the citizens.
Prepare the legions for entry at sundown.
The magnificent Ishtar Gates swung open, and the people joyfully welcomed him as a savior. Persian immortals marched proudly through the vibrant streets, their gleaming weapons lowered in true peace. Priests of Babylon bowed deeply in reverence, relieved their beautiful temples remained untouched. Cyrus rode his majestic horse through the cheering crowds, wearing golden armor that caught the sunlight. He forbade his hungry soldiers from looting civilian homes, strictly enforcing a law of respect. For the exiled Jewish elders weeping in the dusty streets, this miraculous sight felt like a blessing. The heavy chains of endless slavery were shattered without a single sword being drawn in anger. According to the ancient Nabonidus chronicle, the conqueror entered Babylon in peace. Green branches were joyfully spread along his noble path, symbolizing a newly restored harmony. This brilliant maneuver instantly won the loyal hearts of a fiercely independent population. He portrayed himself not as a foreign invader, but as the legitimate successor to the throne. He personally paid deep respects to Marduk, demonstrating profound tolerance for foreign beliefs. This stunning empathy was unseen in a dark era defined by ruthless and savage cruelty. By respecting local traditions, he solidified his empire's foundation for centuries to come. The weeping captives wiped away their sorrowful tears, looking toward a bright, hopeful horizon. But the greatest miracle was yet to be proclaimed from the majestic throne room of Babylon. Deep within the royal palace, bathed in the warm glow of torchlight, the wise king made a firm decree. He ordered his scholars to inscribe his royal promises onto a sacred, baked clay cylinder. Today, we recognize this remarkable artifact as the very first charter of human rights. The Cyrus Cylinder vividly details his peaceful entry and his firm commitment to justice. He declared that all displaced peoples, long enslaved by the Babylonians, were now completely free. They were finally permitted to return to their sacred homelands and joyfully rebuild their temples. No one would ever be forced to abandon their ancestral faith under his compassionate rule. This breathtaking edict fundamentally shattered the dark, established norms of ancient warfare. For the exiled Jewish community, this decree was nothing short of a divine miracle. After decades of captivity, the iron doors to Jerusalem were finally thrown open. Elders fell to their trembling knees, weeping softly as they tightly embraced the precious clay decree. Think about it. Can a leader maintain absolute control by offering freedom instead of fear? Cyrus profoundly understood that a unified empire required deep respect, not brutal suppression. He even generously offered royal funds from his treasury to help finance the reconstruction. Scholars carefully carved every word, ensuring this legacy would survive the test of time. The artifact itself is incredibly intricate, with dense rows of text wrapping around its surface. It states clearly, "I returned the sacred images to their sanctuaries and gathered all the people." This profound declaration completely reversed decades of cruelty with one stroke of diplomacy. By returning stolen religious treasures, he restored the wounded dignity of conquered nations. He became the only non-Jewish figure in the scriptures to be honored as the Anointed One. His extraordinary vision of peaceful coexistence rippled across the sands of the Middle East. The great king's revolutionary ideas laid the groundwork for modern democratic principles. Even the founding fathers of America drew inspiration from his biographical accounts. Thomas Jefferson studied Cyrus, seeking guidance to govern a truly diverse society. This humble clay cylinder, buried for millennia, held the timeless secret to a civilized world. As the royal scribes finished their delicate work, the message was dispatched to the furthest provinces. Imagine the overwhelming joy spreading through the markets as the stunning decree was publicly read. Families separated by war could finally embrace under the protective Persian banner. The dark shadow of Neo-Babylon was permanently lifted by an enlightened monarch. Cyrus had conquered not just the physical territory, but the spiritual heart of the world. The Persian Empire blossomed into a magnificent beacon of unprecedented harmony. Thousands of deeply grateful exiles packed their humble belongings, preparing for the journey home. They carried with them not just their ancestral possessions, but the blessing of a benevolent king. An awe-inspiring caravan of hope began to snake its way through the vast, unforgiving desert. The destination was a ruined city, waiting to be reborn from its tragic, dusty ashes. Back in the barren hills of Jerusalem, the monumental task of rebuilding had commenced. Determined builders labored fiercely under the blazing sun, lifting massive sandstone blocks into place. The fragrant scent of freshly cut cedar wood from Lebanon filled the bustling construction site. Persian gold completely funded the magnificent revival of the Second Holy Temple. Old elders who remembered the original temple's tragic fall wept openly at its rebirth. This masterpiece stood as a testament to the incredible power of religious tolerance. Without Cyrus the Great, the Jewish faith and its sacred traditions might have vanished completely. His compassionate intervention preserved a cornerstone of Western civilization. The empire he built would span 3 vast continents, united by a respect for diversity. History remembers him not as a conqueror, but as a visionary architect of peace. His magnificent empire flourished for 2 centuries of unmatched, brilliant prosperity. It set an extraordinary benchmark for governance that future royal leaders deeply admired. Even Alexander the Great fiercely respected his tomb when conquering the vast Persian lands. As centuries passed, the ancient clay cylinder rested silently beneath the shifting desert sands. British archaeologists finally unearthed this priceless treasure in 1879. Today, a replica sits proudly within the bustling halls of the United Nations headquarters. Its powerful message of human freedom is now translated into all major world languages. The ancient stone walls gently dissolve, revealing a complex map of the 20th century. Meanwhile, the direct descendants of the Persian Empire formed the sovereign nation of modern Iran. These 2 distinct nations share a remarkably deep, historical bond spanning thousands of years. Iran was actually among the first Islamic nations to recognize the young Jewish state. During the Pahlavi era, they maintained incredibly strong economic and strategic ties. The fierce Islamic Revolution of 1979 shattered this ancient alliance. Today, these two historically linked nations stand divided as fierce modern enemies. Yet the enduring spirit of Cyrus the Great serves as a powerful, shining beacon of hope. It reminds our fractured world that genuine reconciliation is always possible. Cyrus left behind a brilliant legacy that shaped modern freedom and religious tolerance. Was his mercy just a clever tactic, or the true compassion of a visionary? Tell us below. If you enjoyed this journey through time, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Welcome, brave seekers of history, to a majestic journey back where glorious empires were forged. Can a single piece of baked clay,